Hi everybody, welcome to the very, very special EarthAngel collective celebration, ceremony, conversation for Lionsgate. Sorry, just as I was thinking that, I was thinking actually Rachel isn't here yet. So let me just take one moment to message Rachel and see if she's joining us. Did she see there? She might just be still putting Maddie to bed. Okay, no worries. So my real intention tonight is that we just open up some sacred space, just drop in together with each other as a sacred community of angels here at this time, honoring the incredibly important spiritual moment that this cycle is, the Lionsgate portal that we've been working towards, and you know, are still yet to kind of fully journey through, but this is a pretty pivotal moment, and I wanted to definitely acknowledge it. I definitely wanted to celebrate it. I definitely wanted to celebrate us and you and us as a collective, so an expanded collective out well beyond the walls of this container of this EarthAngel collective, but all of the women and all of the men and all of the humans, actually all of humanity and the plants and the animals, who are all holding space for Gaia's ascension. And as part of that, I think just maybe having a conversation about where we're at, what we're working through, what we're noticing, and what we're celebrating. So what, if you were to cast your mind's eye back a year ago, where were you? What were you participating in? What's changed for you? How much have you grown? And what do you really want to share with us as your next right steps? Like, what are you calling in? What is, and it might just be a short thing, you know, but what is it that you are now speaking forward into this collective, and therefore taking potent action upon, and therefore manifesting in your next expanded and really glorious and bold iteration of you? And also at the same time, in a ceremonial aspect, holding anything that's gently on our hearts, that I just had some sad news today, so I might share about that in a wee bit. I'll just see. But you know, if anyone's really feeling tender that there's something that's happened or happening that you're really struggling through, that this is also my, you know, one of my highest, I'm figuring out one of my highest values is compassion. Like, I don't need to do great activations. We don't need to do great work. We don't need to have the knowledge. It's not about that. It's about beingness, and it's about compassion, and it's about space and quietness to process and to move and to be held in safety. And if that looks like there's a lot of grief, then that's what we're dealing with. There's a lot of grief. If that looks like we're doing well, then we acknowledge that, and there's a lot of celebration. But it doesn't need to be this big hoo-ha. I feel sometimes with what's happening now with, you know, the world of spirituality, is everything's becoming quite like, oh this and you know, for me it seems like a lot of that's going on. But I think I just channeled a little note about this ceremony end of last week, was that what feels true for me right now is gentle, compassionate, collective space holding, do you know, like real nourishing and nurturing from me to you, so that you can receive, but also that we can give to each other and hold that gentle space as a collective as well. And I think that's an angelic, it's a really higher level angelic frequency. So yeah, it's good. So we might start with a little sharing tonight, I think, just to drop into the space, you know, as if we'd walked onto a room and we were going to have a bit of a quick conversation. Just are you cold, are you warm, how are you feeling, are you excited to be here, what's been going on, you know, like not at a necessarily but just how are you feeling. So we'll just do a quick popcorn around Stephanie, you jumped on first, so I'll popcorn. Oh, first of all, so guys, I did put in the chat, we've just travelled home from Nelson tonight. We've just been in sunny Nelson. There was an open day at school for Max on Saturday, so we went to check that out. We caught up with some friends who lived there. We drove around a lot. We looked at a couple of places that for sale, got the lay of the land. Beautiful, beautiful sunny day yesterday. It was just such a magical day. I heard it was nice here too. And then literally, flew into the storm. So out there, it's freezing. I guess I'm feeling, well, I'm kind of sad because, you know, when you follow people on Instagram or you get to know them. So I know this, there's this lady that I met and I've got to know her, not personally, I feel personally. It was a bit like when Guru Jagat died. It was like someone I felt I knew. And then I grieved for her in a way that even though I'd never met her and I only kind of knew her online, she died suddenly. And I was very sad about it. And so this beautiful woman, her name's Joy Harrington. She's a really amazing coach from Arizona. She's been sharing a lot. She's got 37,000 followers on Instagram. She's an amazing coach. The journey of her baby. So she was, you know, all the way through from the miracle of the pregnancy, so excited about it. She's got 2 kids. She's had a really rocky marriage and the baby has helped bring her back together with the love of her life, Peter, who's her husband, and they have this beautiful marriage now, and that's really what she coaches on, a lot of this marriage work. Anyway, so then I've been waiting for the arrival of the little baby. And I was flicking through and she had done a reel about the baby's arrival and birth in 2 parts. And then the next slide, like I flicked through and the next thing was trigger warning. Oh, I'm just bringing Rachel. Trigger warning, and I guess this share should also come with a little trigger warning as well. Just waiting for Rachel to join. That the baby died. So the little baby died. So he went back to Jesus, was what she said. He was there for less than 24 hours. Hi Rach.
Hi.
Just sharing a little bit what's on our hearts tonight. And so just hearing about a lady I know in Arizona whose little baby's just passed, and it was only like 23 hours. So she went to him in the morning at 5 in the morning and he was not responsive. And I just don't, you know, I was in the airport, I couldn't really grieve, I couldn't really cry. I think I will, like I feel deeply sad about this. It's really shocking actually. I can't imagine for that family all that anticipation. And then on the other hand, my own sister had a baby 2 days ago, a little beautiful baby girl called Ruby. So we're so excited about having a new little cuzzy in our family. And my sister, I'm so excited for her. And then, yeah, it was just like not expecting that. And so I just feel like, you know, as humanity, individually and collectively, we're facing such a lot. And then who we are in the face of that is what really, really is what it's all about. Because, you know, Joy, through her heartbreak, is still bringing forth lessons, teaching, compassion, understanding that the baby was a gift, that they'll make sense of it later, you know, that he's gone home to be a little angel baby with Jesus. And yeah, and I guess it's, you know, in the space of Lion's Gate and acknowledgement and through it all, like we're showing up tonight. We're here, we're putting our hearts on the line, we are connecting as a group, we're doing our work, we're honoring the importance of the spiritual moment, we are joining in celebration of the light, that the light is winning, that the light is landed, that the planet is ascending, and that we're here to do our part, however big or however that small that looks. And for me, that's a real testament to who we are. And that's the earth angel for me. That's the person that can hold so much space for compassion and tragedy, but also keep moving forward, do you know, keep honoring the light, honoring our gifts, honoring who we are, and continuing to step forward and show up for that, and to seek Yeah. And one last thing real quick is this is such a full circle for me. So Charmaine, I think, I'm not quite sure who, I'm sure Michelle was, but you guys were on the call with Lionsgate Portal I did with Jessica last year. So we did an activation like leadership, and I felt like I was really in full flight at that time, like August 2021. Like I was looking back at a video that I made after it today, and I was just on cloud nine. I was so excited with the way that call had gone and the number of people who had come on, and I felt this real expansion of light and a co-creative opportunity for Jessica and I. And then it's been so tough. Like the cycle to this moment has been so tough, but inside of the churned soil and the decay and the things that have had to go on underneath the kind of the breaking down, I can start to feel my own shoots of light really strongly re-emerging in a very, very different, unique way. And today I just joined up for a 9-week journey with Samantha May to do the Light Language Mastery course. So I'm really excited for that, because I just feel like, yeah, it was something that had been calling to me, and it was the next right step in terms of my growth. Thanks, Alex, for the heart. That's so cute. Yeah. So in a nutshell, Lionsgate is doing its magic, isn't it? The big, big lessons. Okay, Steph, so I'd love to pop across to you, darling, because I feel like you popped on the call first, and I'd really love to hear how you are.
Oh, thanks, Alice. Hi, everyone. Really sad to hear that story with Joy and her baby. I was reading about exit points, and I think it was just that the baby chose that exit point. Yeah. It was, destined. But I'm very excited to hear about your new niece. I was going to ask you about that.
Yeah, Ruby Mae Campbell, she's beautiful. Maria.
Oh, Ruby.
Yeah.
Name. Yeah, gorgeous.
She's doing really, really well. It's just a bundle of joy surrounded by a home full of love. I mean, you couldn't ask for anything better. She's gorgeous. Oh,
I love that. So I've pretty much been experiencing every single emotion in an extreme way probably since Thursday with this Lionsgate portal. So I had a really good day Thursday. I had a cool work opportunity, was on a massive high, and then the earth humbled me pretty quickly, and one of my clients cancelled my contract early, so I was really gutted about that. And then just feeling exhausted after traveling up to Auckland and back. And so I've just been feeling a bit like sad and angry, but also happy, and then excited. And then did a Lionsgate activation yesterday, which was really nice. Set some intentions. And then today I just woke up really pissed off. So I took myself for a walk. And just like, I feel like this is it's kind of like starting a new year. So we're like purging everything out now. And I just, obviously there's a lot of stuff that had to come up, but it's like, there was some more stuff around like, why is it so freaking hard? Like, why isn't things can't be easy and smooth, and, why do you have to hustle? And, it was just, why am I still single? Like, just, everything kind of coming up. So I took myself for a walk first thing. I didn't start work till like 11 because I just wanted to have some me time, and went for a walk. Was singing the top of my lungs in the park, which was fun. And then just gone to some work, and then I just channeled like this massive course that I'm going to launch in October, a 8-week course on an HR course, and was just like wrote 5 pages of notes around how I could structure it and what it could look like and who I could bring in. Because I was like, a bit panicked because I'm about like, I had this contract and now it's gone, and that's, part of my income, and just like so tired about like what to do to, cover that space. And I was, I'm living with my dad, and, it's good temporarily, but I want to, move out and have my own place. I need space to move. I need to be expansive, and it's just working all of that out. And then I'm missing traveling, but you need money to be able to do that, and it's just like all these things. There's like all these human earthly things. But one of the things I came through during the activation yesterday was just like being in the vibration of love and just going back to love always. And that's my only job. It's just to keep going back to love. So yeah, I've kind of just been feeling all the feels the last couple of years.
So beautiful, Steph. I will put in our EarthAngel Collective, and I can send it to you as well. I was just thinking, so Kyra from the Sophia Code did a really beautiful free Lionsgate activation on Zoom, and I only listened to the beginning of it because we were traveling today, but she spoke and it touched me so deeply about our courage, you know, like what we've been through as a collective of light workers in the last cycle, you know, really real world impacts on our income due to medical choices that we've made. And I cried about that too. Like, I've been doing crying inside today. I haven't let many tears out, but I really, like, my heart was crying because I, you know, like, I get it. Like, I so get it. And, you know, I know Smith, you get it. I know Rachel, you get it. Alexandra, you get it. Shemaine, you get it. Michelle, you get it. Lou, you get it. Lizzie, you get it. Like, there's been this real world impact on us, and I think we are so courageous and so brave. And I just want to say to you, when I was 35 and I was down in the dumps about boyfriends, I would drink and then go to bed and not get up for 2 weeks. I would do nothing. Like, I would just stay in a sad sack. Sorry, woe is me. The world hates me. Life hates me. I will never get what I want mentality for a long time. And you're like, oh, I'll take myself for a walk. I'll go to the beach. I'll get myself grounded and call in my guides. Then I'll manifest this fucking course to make a difference in the world for all these miraculous people. And I know that whatever happens, I'm being taken care of. I'm like, blow my mind with how phenomenal you are, Stephanie. And I've just got massive goosebumps all over my body because there's this thing called escrow, and our dreams and our desires and our manifestations are just in escrow, and they're waiting to come in on the timeline that they're setting for us to, you know, for them to come in. And it's just, you're so freaking courageous and beautiful and amazing for having ground and like seeked out, first of all, awakened and seeked out and taken on, and now a living evidence of what it looks like to be that kind of amazing human. Yeah. So and everybody, please feel that acknowledgement, because it's not just for Stephanie, but it, you know, it is, but it's for all of us. Alex,
yeah, the heavier load falls upon the stronger shoulders.
Sure does.
Did you want to say something, Alexandra?
No, I'm all right.
Yeah, putting your hand up.
My hand went up for some reason. I thought I was back at school. No, I don't know what happened.
Oh, Alice,
I just got excited. I don't know.
We're excited, yeah. Yeah, we can get excited for everything.
I had this conversation with my mum, and I'm like, when I have a big whinge to her, I'm like, you know, I could be like an alcoholic, I could be off doing drugs, I could be off, you know, sleeping with random people, you know, there's so many things that I, you know, could be doing to numb the pain, but instead I lean into it. And I'm like, you know, you go through, like, particularly the last few months, like, you know, how, you know, adrenaline fatigue and, you know, how down in the dumps I was, and to just still continue going, like, I'm tired of being resilient, but still I'm like, okay, just keep going, it'll be fine.
Yeah, you know, and I think that the thing, you know, sometimes when we're like feeling into all of that, the thing, like the nugget comes forth, you know, like we are given words or an idea or a something if we are receptive to the energy of our guides and of our higher self and of our destiny and our timeline. If we're not like, and once we reach for the higher frequency and the higher vibration by doing what we know to do, it does drop in. And that's just, and then I think it's just time. I just think that you've only been doing this a short amount of time. Like all of us actually have been only really doing it, you know, quite a short amount of time. And I think it's just practice. Then the confidence grows, and, you know, your work that you're doing is exceptional, Steph. Like really come on in absolute leaps and bounds since the time that you decided to be self-contracted, you know.
Thank you.
The arrow always pulls back before it shoots forward. Thank you. That's the most perfect analogy, Michelle. Yes, so agree.
Yeah, I've been nominating myself for this award, and I had to, like, what are your last 12-month achievements? And then I was like, this, and I was like, shit, I've actually done a lot. Oh, thanks, Alexandra.
So cool. Do you want to speak into like one or two things that do you know already? Like, have you thought about what you're speaking forward into this energetic space, to the portal?
Do you mean like what are my intentions?
Yeah, like have you got a small thing or a big thing, or just an overall kind of way of going or being, or specific?
I updated my vision board last night because I went to see the new Elvis movie on Saturday and fell head over heels in love with Austin Butler. So he's now on my vision board.
Oh.
So unless he looks like Austin Butler, he's a no.
So we're manifesting the meeting and the arrangement with romance. Let's just this is the year of romance. Okay, cool. Let's declare that.
Yeah, and just a 7-figure business. That's it. That's all. Just
those two. Yeah.
Really tiny things.
No, they're beautiful things and not tiny at all. Worthy of your life, my darling.
Thank you.
So welcome.
You want me to pop to someone else?
Yeah.
I'd love to hear from you, Michelle. Thank you for holding space, everyone. Love you all.
I love you.
Hi, everyone. Yeah, that's so interesting because the first card that pops out tonight was Archangel Faith. With faith, you are invincible. Believe in yourself. That was the first card that popped out tonight. So, yeah, I mean, we forget when we're having a look at how when we're going through our stuff, how quickly we pop back up. That's what I remember as I started noticing how quickly I popped back up again after I'd have an episode and I'd be set back, or something would upset me and I would drop into a low vibration. And I think, you know, if you start watching your track and tracking how quickly you come back, that is where, and I'm getting goosies now. So like, yeah, I mean, that's the truth. That's, you start noticing how quickly you overcome, or you fix your mindset and change, because it's all mindset. It's all about how you approaching that obstacle, and how you change your thought patterns, which we've been programmed, generational, legacy, destiny, karmic, whatever, how we change that narrative and story. It's, yeah, you'll notice you're doing it quicker. You know, you won't be down for like 3 days. You'll be down for like maybe 24 hours or 48 hours. So,
I think even if you attach, it's like sometimes the stories are just complete. What I've noticed.
I also feel that you need to surrender to those days. Yeah. So now when I'm down, I just stay in bed, or I have a duvet day, as I call it. And I just literally, I nurture myself, and I understand that this is going to pass because I've overcome so much. So you get into that mode where, you know what, I'm going to feel these feelings, and I'm going to figure out where they come from and why am I reacting like this, and then go and maybe do some work around that, and then you know what, it normally passes, moves through quicker. And obviously when it doesn't, then we need a little bit of extra help from somebody else maybe. But you know what, realistically, everybody on this call is pretty good at moving through it. And yeah, we have our shit days, but you know, yeah. So.
And have you noticed as a cycle pattern, say from this time last year to now, that a bunch of things that would have triggered you then are just not even on your radar now? Like that actually the frequency's shifted. So that's what I was saying about some of the stories. Like some of it will still, of course, impact you, and you'll go down like whatever. And there may not even be something. It might just be the energies, or like, you know, you're just burnt out in that moment, like you just fried and need the time down. So your brain's like kind of catching up, integrating up. But there will be things that you have now completed for yourself as truths that have become the truth for you. That means you no longer react in the way that you did to the circumstance that you're presented with. And so therefore you're overall like less inclined to, you know, you're just like, oh yeah, we kind of get that. Like that's you know, there's a more of an equilibrium emerging for us, I think.
It's really interesting for me. What I'm moving through, you know, at the moment is, a while back I moved into observation mode, and then obviously checking all the time within to see whether I'm just observing and like what people sometimes call spiritual bypassing, you know, when you kind of like la 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 la, you know, I have to check that because I'm kind of not reacting anymore to stuff that's happening, because I kind of see it and I acknowledge it, but it's not entering my field as deeply as it used to. And you know, I always check in to go like, am I becoming hard, or is this actually, you know, and I still maintain it's the vibration that you hold. If you can hold that higher vibration, you see the hurt, you see the upset, you see the stuff happening, but it doesn't get in the same way that it knocks you off your feet as badly. And I think that, you know, you can pat yourself on the back when you pop up again.
I think
exactly.
We all need to more. Yeah.
There's a lot of stuff happening that could floor you. And I mean, I'm seeing lots of people getting floored, but it's really interesting because, you know, I'm starting to see even with clients who are having calls with me, that they're kind of almost, they know it in their soul. They're starting to recognize it. But they just need that reassurance again that, hey, you know what? How are you going to react next time? Because this time, yes, you reacted, but you know, you if you look at it from a point of view, from a cosmic point of view, there's no, it's not that important. It's just not that important. You know, and that's where I'm at the moment. I'm looking at the little day-to-day things. The little things matter. Like I'm meeting the most incredible people but I have no attachment to anything or anyone. So when they come in my door, you know, I'm right in the moment with them, and then they leave. I'm not harboring onto what they're going to do. What are we going to see one another? Like, is this a long-term friendship? How do they react? Did they look at like this? You know, there's so much stuff that goes through your head all the time when you're meeting people and you're working in your life. But when you simplify it, it's not important. It's just how you are in that moment of that vibrational field. And that's the reason why we're being called to go quieter and simpler. So we're all like so obsessed with making money and being this and doing this and whatever. But the simple life is exactly how we get through this. Simplify everything. It's not important.
So much gold. So much gold. Can I just speak to 2 points really quickly? One was spiritual bypassing. So I don't ever apologize for not going into a process if I don't feel like I need to go into a process. I'm not going to do that. Like, just because some spiritual conversation is that we've got to like go and beat ourselves up and go into the shadow and root it all out. Like, if you need to do that, you'll know that you need to do that. If you don't, and you are quite love and light, and you want to resonate with that way of being on a higher frequency for, you know, periods of time, you'll know when you need to go in the shadow. But yeah, like, I just refuse to go there because I think that I should be getting upset about this. It's more like, no, I'm done with that. I'm good. Like, I can move on. I can hold a lot of light, you know. So that was one thing, and it's because it's really nuanced, and there is a lot of almost pressure within inside of quite a lot of spiritual coaches and spiritual conversations that you kind of need to go in there and suffer and struggle and root it out and go around and around, you know. And I just don't think that getting caught in a psychological mind trap of misery is spiritual at all, you know. I'm not saying people necessarily do that, but just to be like kind of aware that it's okay to choose light. Like, I can go for it. In my world anyway, I super encourage that. And then the other thing was, I love what you were saying. I feel, for me personally, like what's happened with relationships is that we are learning to disentangle energies. And that we used to spend a lot of time, just getting goosies as I say that, we used to spend a lot of time worrying about everybody. And they would come into our field, and then we were like, felt like we needed to work with them, or like not like work with them, but just hold space for them, or be friends, you know, like nurture them along. And I think what I've been learning a lot in the last 6 months is letting go. Let people have their process. They'll come to you if they need you. Stop mothering them, stop fussing. And I think it's not just personal to me. I think it's an energetic shift that's been happening, kind of like to let people spend more time in their own like soup. And yeah, like maybe that's tying in with the spiritual bypassing thing too, because that's allowing people to go into where they need to go into without you diving in to rescue them all the time. And it's much simpler as well, because our energies are very strange. So I think every time that we, you know, release, that we cut those cords, and that we release, and that we come back to call out all our energy back to us, we're learning to let go of the entanglement of relationships, of people. Because there's some ego deeply attached to that. Really attached to how people how you show up for them and they show up for you. And yeah.
Actually, the biggest thing is it boils down to self-love. Because if we are in complete stand in our sovereignty, we don't need approval. It's not an issue. If somebody gets triggered by you, or they, I mean, I had a client who was like really emotionally upset because, you know, the person that she liked blocked her. And I kind of go, like, it shows inside. So whatever's happening on the outside, look on the inside and see why are we reacting like this? What are the things that you need to step into to heal, to not react like that? You know, because again, to flow through the stuff that's happening is the key to flow with the river, not be the rock in the river.
And again, it's a real, isn't it? It's a real Earth Angel lesson, because we're all recovering people pleasers. We're all recovering people who have this deep, desperate need to be liked and to be loved. And the other thing is, we have a desperate, deep need to make it okay for people. And, you know, to make it nice, to make it happy, and, you know, all right. And
we want to live in a happy world. We want to live and recreate that beautiful, happy world.
We have these little,
you know,
happy-go-lucky souls. And then the human part, the Earth Angel with the feet on the planet Terra, the Earth Angel part of it is that we have to also embody our beautiful, light, loving, happy-go-lucky soul, but we have to work out at a human level how we then, you know, network that out to the other people who who come to us, or who enter our, or have soul contracts with us, or enter our field to receive some of our light for some of their time.
Yeah, so it's also working on boundaries. So within that is working on your boundaries, having this boundary of when the you know, when you feel that you're being triggered or whatever. It's obviously often your boundaries are not in place. So again, it's self-work. It's all the self-work, which, yeah, I mean,
ongoing.
yes, never ends, because there'll be a new scenario that comes along.
And you've had an amazing Lionsgate cycle, Michelle, with a big relocation and, you know, spending time creating your home and the family and everything that's gone on. Like, we can't even, we'd be here for a couple of nights to talk about it all.
You know what, I'm just in awe, because I'm normally the person who pushes my way through, sees the vision, and then makes it happen. And my biggest thing has been to learn patience and allow it to come to me. And oh my goodness, it's just flowing in with me not even doing anything. And I've let go of why, how's it going to work? Is it going to work? Is it not? I'm just trusting now completely that wherever I'm led, wherever I am, that's exactly where I'm supposed to be. And that level of trust is so, it's the most beautiful feeling to let go. Because we are so patterned and conditioned to, you've got to have this and you've got to have that and you should have this, and by this age you've got to be this, and it's all stories that are absolutely irrelevant. It's everything that we're trying to achieve and it's all irrelevant to the soul. All that earthly stuff, it's not important. It's how you are inside and the connection you have. And then you will be led in the right direction. That soul alignment is so important.
Yeah, absolute, like, living proof of the manifestation. You really are, in just the way that. So you got?
I can't tell you, this place is becoming the retreat that I was never like, I never had that grandiose idea of having a retreat, but the souls that are popping in, and every time they come in, I've got fruit to give them. I've got a candle today I gave out to a lady who, it's just amazing. Everything it's so in balance and so beautifully just coming through, you know, and I'm in service.
Really different place to work from.
Very different. I have no idea of, oh, I'm going to create this and I'm going to sell this and I'm going to do this and I decided I want a sheep shed. I'm going to, because what I want to do is I want to have a place on the property that I can, just a simple space. And next minute, my husband says, we're not going to build this. We're going to do a simple shed at the top of the property. And, you know, I was like, okay, fine. And then, you know, I meet this incredible lady who's now put our property on the Hawke's Bay Spring Fling Foodscapes, massive thing. 250 people from all over New Zealand are coming to this thing. It's all about sustainable living and sustainable food. It's just, you know what, and they're coming to Riverstones to relax in the garden. And she said to me, I really like your art. She has no idea what I do. So I really like your art to be in the garden. Can people sit and like look and sit around them and look at the paintings?
And you're like, oh, that's what I designed them for. They're like portals that are supposed to be there, that people are supposed to sit and look at. It's awesome.
Blows my mind when you are in alignment and you are watching and just allowing, you dream it and then you let it, allow it. Just, this is what I love, but whatever you bring to me, it's good. And I'm happy with that, because I understand that it's for the highest good of my soul, where my soul wants me to be. Oh my word, letting go like that in full. Wow.
Just got a question for you. When you were in the moving process and all of that, do you remember, was there a point where it just shifted for you, where you said, I'm just going to, like, I don't know, maybe it was like, I'm going to play with this, or this is line in the sand time for me, or I'm just going to, like, my way of being is going to shift in this moment to full trust, full surrender. Like, did it click?
I never ever set my goal as being, this is the property. I remember asking my guidance, and the guidance I got is, this property is a high probability.
Right.
So I never anchored in like humans do. You know, we
Right.
anchor in
Kind
and
of
we attach
left the-
ourselves, and then we start putting all these boundaries around it. It was literally, I know I'm moving to the right place, where this is where I'm going to get more growth, and you know what, this is what I would love, but I literally allow you guys to show me where I'm supposed to go.
It's really cool. It's really cool. No, it's because it's like
letting
literally
go of that level of control that we always think that we should have, because we've got to be striving to go somewhere, to move somewhere. We've got to, this is how we get judged, or blah, blah. It's like it all falls away. That doesn't matter. The people that come into my life now, I know are supposed to be here. And I literally, you know what, I'm like, somebody said to me, you've got to be in charge of the art piece on this big day. It's like a big market that they're having. And I went, I know that I'm not supposed to, but I met a lady who's an artist, is a cosmic artist as well. And I know that she's the one. And they had all these people saying they've got to come and they've got to do this and whatever. And I said, I know that lady. She's the one supposed to. And you know what? They all fell off. That's the lady that's coming to do it. I had this trust and knowing, and but it takes a lot of hard work to tune out all the noise.
Yeah. And I was just thinking, it's like a beautiful, beautiful example of actually the power of deliberate creation and manifestation, the law of allowing, like all of the universal laws in practice. And like, do you think it's a sort of I often hear this 80-20, like, you know, you go 80, the universe will meet you 20, like you've got to let go. The most important part is the kind of like the creation and the stepping through and the right vibration, and then let it go.
You've got to have the vision of where you want to go. But for me, I don't actually, I don't physicalize it in the way that normally I physicalize it in the energetics, how I'm going to feel in that moment when I'm actually doing that. So I literally live that life now. So every morning, what I would do is get up and go, I'm living on that property. I'm going around, I'm walking, I'm looking at the river. I am watering my garden. So at the moment, I'm dreaming up my glass house, because I want to grow vegetables in the glass house. And I'm dreaming it that I know what it's going to look like. I've had a look or whatever, but I'm totally fluid. So, and I found 6 big, massive windows for free on Marketplace that we just went and collected on Sunday. And I had no clue what it's going to look like, but I've got those, and I got them for free. And there's so much in me that wants to go and buy a little house and get it instantly, you know. But it's a constant learning, because then the friend of mine said, well, I've got this tunnel, you can have it for $200. And I just intrinsically know that it's the patience of waiting that I need to wait for mine to be built. I don't need to put the tunnel up, because inside me I'm going, oh, it's so ugly, it's not going to look nice because it's plastic.
So you're not resonating with that, so you're going to wait.
Exactly.
And that's
so I know
that's the trusting part, because you know that the windows, you know, the wooden windows, and you've got the vision, and it's coming, it's all coming.
Exactly. And I've got to just wait for that to come in, and I know that the universe is going to send me the right guy. You know, obviously could be in the form of my husband and myself, but I know there'll be somebody else who's going to come in and help me pull it together.
Yeah.
And I know that the poles are going to come from some place that's pulling out apple orchards or whatever, and they've got all these poles, and they go, oh, for goodness sake, just take them off our hands.
And the bit, you know, I'm pretty sure that everybody on the call, on this, you know, within this collective, because you guys have done a lot of work in this realm, but even I have to remind myself is something I learned a long time about manifesting is this dare to dream. That's
Dream
what
big.
Yeah,
Dream
that's what
big.
Michelle, you know, Michelle's a really, really amazing example of that, because your worthiness is high, your self-love, I deserve this, but it wasn't always like that, you know, but you've worked on that, and you've worked on knowing that you can have whatever you want for yourself in your life, because you came here as a earth angel, and you're worthy of it at a very deep level.
But
so
I've
it's like
I've also changed my thing to a more, it's not what I can do and how I can do whatever. I'm literally going, I'm your servant, let me do whatever, as long as it makes me happy and brings me joy and it keeps me in high vibration, I'm going to do that. So that's how I look at everything. So you know, if I feel like, oh, this doesn't bring joy, then I'm not doing it.
I think it's so amazing just to think about that, because we are in an abundance portal, right? Like this eight, the codes right now are about courage, self-love, leadership, light, abundance, humanity, humility, going forth through our journey as light workers on the planet, spiritual alignment, spiritual laws, calling in those things that we, you know, want and deserve, and all of this. And then what you're speaking about is like a humility or a humbleness or a surrendering into what you're like, almost what the soul alignment of the life looks like, rather than what the human thought the life was going to look like. If that makes sense. And that's such an important piece.
Because I had completely different ideas around what I wanted to get out of this lifetime. But since I've surrendered, oh my God, my life is just amazing. It's incredible.
Yeah. And I think what you said was so cool. It's like, I'm going to, like, let me be where my soul is happy. Let me be of service in a way that lights my soul up. Let me be nourished through simplicity, if that's what it is. Like, I'm not going to chase the big numbers of followers. I'm not going to chase the big numbers of podcasts. I'm not going to chase the international clients who are going to pay me big bucks so that I can afford the Gucci. It's not, you know, it might have been about that, but that was, you've come really into a soul alignment of a life that is nourishing and is joyful and then radiates. It's like it's amazing. It's like really, you know, really amazing.
It's being in the moment for everything and creating the space. Steph, you're going there in the fact that you're creating the space for you to live in that energy. And because reality is that it's a simple life.
Yeah.
It's
a rich life. It's a simple, rich life, eh?
So
and it can look however
simple and so connected to the earth.
And I think the cool thing about that is if you get that, you can also get that you can have a life of massive abundance and luxury, and you can buy whatever the frick you want, but you've got to get the first building block first.
I do think, I mean, some of us go around it in a different way.
Yeah.
So some of us create the wealth first and then come around to the simplicity. And you know, yeah, I don't know. I just know that I am here to, my guides and everybody they want me to live my most simple, happy life in this lifetime. So in this lifetime, it's a simple, quiet, enjoyable lifetime. It's almost like, have the reward. Why wouldn't you? Why can't you? Why can't you live a simple life and just be so freaking happy? I'm in my garden the whole day when the sun's shining. I'm driving my tractor. The other day I drove my tractor. I literally went, oh my God, this is so cool. 9 years ago, I was wondering, I wish we could have a ride-on tractor so we could have a lawn to mow and blah, blah, blah. And like the other day, I'm in such gratitude every single moment of the day. So when you get into that alignment, everything becomes amazing. And I'm not saying that my life is perfect, because trust me, if I started unpacking all the stuff, there's a whole bunch of stuff that's going on, but I'm choosing to understand how it all folds and just flow with it resolves itself. I had a phone call the other day and it was like, oh my goodness. And I went, you know what? I'm just gonna I'll just see how it goes. And I had to do a little bit of work, inner work, because, it's like whatever. And you know what? It resolves itself. It just went away. Because I didn't give it energy and I didn't draw it in. I just let it be.
Didn't wrap it in a big drama.
Yeah, I just let it be and went, you know what? Whatever. Okay, fine. If that's what it's going to be, then we'll do that. Less attachment when I'm so not attached, and that's hard. That's not that easy to not be attached, because I thought, okay, if we lose the property for some or other reason, how am I going to feel? And I went, actually, you know what? I'm okay and good if we don't have it anymore, because I will just find another place where I can grow my vegetables and live in a bus or a tent or whatever. I've simplified my life to that point. And I mean, I've still got heaps of work to do, make no mistake, but.
Wow. Again, I mean, I just really acknowledge you, Michelle, the difference in you and the difference in your energy, and you're always very high vibe anyway, and you've done a lot of work for a long time. You were deep and knee deep in light work when I met you, however many years ago it was, and you've been so consistent ever since, and working on raising that vibration and sharing it. And I was just so honored to have you as part of this collective, because I think the wisdom's phenomenal, and really such an example to us all of going for your dreams and shifting.
Well, it's really interesting because I'll watch something on Instagram and the person's going, I've got a bestseller book, and I'm like, da, da, da. I was like, I've written too, but I've let go of the expectation of what it's supposed to. All I know is that I've anchored in that vibration of that book, and I know that it's of the highest vibration that I could bring through at the time that I did it. And I trust that whatever it was meant to do, it's doing, or it will do, or whatever. And I don't need to push it, drive it, be the best, whatever. All I know is that it came through me. It's there. It's anchored. I honored the job. I did it. And when somebody comes along and goes, like I had a circle for 8 women the other day on Sunday, and one of the ladies said, oh my God, I really want your book, and here's the money for the book. And I went, that's awesome, great, that's brilliant. But I don't have I've stopped thinking, well, I wonder why the other 7 didn't buy it. All I know is that at this time right now, that lady notices it, receives it, and she understands the vibration that she's going to be receiving when she reads it. And I've let go of the expectation that if that person, if the person who saw the book and didn't feel the vibration, it's not a reflection of them, it's not a reflection of me, it just is.
Yeah, that's so cool. We can so apply that to everything.
It's
people
not easy. It's not easy,
like Lizzie, with people coming to the retreats,
there's constant stuff coming at you that you've got to work on constantly.
Yeah. Gorgeous. Cool. Do you oh, you're so welcome. No, really just massively honoring your journey, and excited to see where the next, this time in a year, like Lionsgate in a year, what will have grown and changed, and where will you be, and how will have things progressed? So
Well, I've
Yeah.
dreamt all the stuff that I want and
I'm
that
sure.
I see the vision for,
Yeah.
but I'm allowing the universe to shape it the way they think and how it's going to work to the highest for my highest good.
So be it.
Mm.
Yeah, I love that.
Mhm.
Oh, I think Charmaine just dropped off real quick. That's all right. Thank you, darling. Thank you. Who do you want to popcorn to? Or anyone want to maybe Lou, you want to share? Or yeah. Okay, darling. So just take yourself off mute.
Yep.
Hey, sweetie.
Hi.
Just sort of
So something that I don't even know how to word it. I'm dealing with currently is an issue with my youngest son, and yeah, he's been quite a lot of work since he was born, from crying for 6 hours every day, all day, 7 days a week, multiple health issues, lots of discoveries of the why. All these things went on for him. And so May, he turned 16. And a week ago today, decided he was leaving home. He has had a girlfriend for only a couple of weeks, and she attempted to commit suicide. He ended up at the emergency department with her, wanting to be with her, to support her, to help her. And she had to be released from the emergency department. He wanted her to come to our house so that he could help her. And so she did. The family then had a meeting with the crisis team on the Sunday, and she was released back into the care of her mother, who was apparently violent and drunk, which was what pushed her to the suicide attempt, I believe. So this is, not in the moment. I wasn't. This is information shared from him, and then discussions with the girlfriend's sister. And so throughout the week, I have been feeling I will say it's a trauma of a death, the death of my son, the death of my baby, which kind of was a bizarre thing, that Alice, that was what begun this moment. And then I realized that after he, as a child, was no longer, he basically became reborn as a young man, because he's stepping up for what he thinks he needs to do. The offside of that is that the family wants him to keep her safe, and I don't want that for him, because he's 16. I want him to be a 16-year-old boy who goes out and does stupid things, goes out with his mates and whatever, toilet paper someone's tree or something, but in the moments of the feeling, the trauma of the death of my baby, I realized I raised him. He's stepping up because I raised him to be that way. He's capable. He can cook. I mean, he cooks a couple of nights. Well, he did when he lived here. He cooked a couple of nights a week for 4 of us. Loved experimental cooking. We loved eating it. So it just encouraged his journey with the food and everything. He can do washing. He knows how to do that. He does the vacuuming and cleans the bathroom. He knows how to do that. He can mow the lawns and does weeding in the gardens. A lot of stuff that I've come to realize in my exploration of what teenagers are like today. And it's not about a level or that he's a hierarchy or anything. He does so much more than most. So I was reminding myself of his capability and his abilities to actually help me to get through the grieving process. And I shared my experience with someone I've been friends with for a good few years. And it kind of came to a bit of a head when I had to say to her, I'm sorry, but I misunderstood the way that you've been talking to me, thinking that you've been supporting me in this moment, and asked her if she knew what it was to hold space. And I said that to her, and she said, oh, not really. I thought you were asking for advice. No, that would begin with, I need your advice. That's what I said. And she goes, oh, so that's not what you wanted. No, just wanted you to listen to me, to redirect me if you think I've just fallen off a cliff, or catch me if I do. And basically just to listen. And she has stopped speaking to me. And I'm like, do I care? Probably not. And it's that releasing of these relationships that are just, they've served their purpose, they've done their time, and the realization of perhaps it was never actually beneficial at all, ever. And I just didn't know. So yeah, I'm not begging for any crumbs or anything. And I don't need advice. If I want advice, I'll say that this is what I need, some advice. Could you listen to me? Are you prepared to help me, or whatever? And a mutual friend that we have, I saw her today in the physical, so in real life conversation and coffee, and was witnessing how or for want of a better term, all I can say is how negative everything turned for her. And that was the only perspective that she could see. And I kept saying to her, don't talk to my friend like that. And she's like, oh, what do you mean? I'm like, you are literally bad-mouthing yourself, and you're my friend. And if you weren't here, I wouldn't want to hear someone talking about you like that. And you're doing it to yourself. And she had no clue. She didn't even realize that had come out of her mouth. And it was kind of sad, but it was just like, whoa, I've been listening to this for so long, and I've been either not noticing or thinking, you just do you and I'll do me. And that's fine and all that, but I realized where a lot of my energy was being drained, and I would come home from situations and feel absolutely exhausted. I actually have adrenal fatigue, and it's no freaking wonder, but mostly from the things with my son, because he's high functioning Asperger's, and quite, I mean, if you can imagine what it'd be like to have a conversation with Einstein every night, where you don't just get an answer, you actually get a sermon and about everything. And so, yeah, but so the realizing of all of that has just been quite astounding. And as a human, how much I've tolerated and not even thought I deserve better than that. What have I been doing? Yeah. So choosing where to put my physicality, in what space and environment, has become my new thing. And it won't be in that muddy little pond anymore. So yes.
So yay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. Thank you, darling. Like, thank you, first of all, for like just being so open and vulnerable and putting your heart on your, you know, out to us in your conversation, your sharing. Mothering is a minefield. There's just no doubt. And, you know, like the girls said in the chat, like absolutely celebrating you, acknowledging you, seeing you, witnessing you, your incredible heart, your effort, the energy it's taken, like the courage and the continuation and everything that you've done for your son to this point and will do, you know. And I think, you know, we know what it takes, like really.
And here or not here, it doesn't stop.
Yeah, a lot. And such a brave mama and such a fierce love, you know. And so courageous going through this shift, like like the letting go and the new relationship, developing a new relationship with this young man. And you know, we all find this at different stages. We've got to develop these new relationships with our children as they grow and change and shift, and it's, you know, ever evolving journey with having to hold a massive amount of compassion and love and a really thankless job at times. We don't really get appreciated or acknowledged or seen, or the kids certainly don't really give a shit. It's like, okay, you know what I mean? So just beautiful. Thank you for sharing. And really feeling for your boy's friend and everything that she's obviously struggling and suffering through, and that he can be there for her is a real miracle. And that you're there for her too. So just, and look, I mean, these women, these friends that we have, or we think that they're our friends, I believe they're there for a time, for a purpose, and that you're, you know, I was saying this to a client this week, that your strong boundary, while it looks to them as an upset and they'll run away and then they go out of communication, it's really so important that we do be brave and courageous in our boundaries, because while it might not be popular from their point of view and they might block us and freeze us out, it's actually a real big soul lesson for them. And if you don't take on honoring yourself in that minute that you can restore your energy to give to others, and by doing that you need to kind of cut ties with that person, then they don't get the soul lesson. They just keep walking over you and getting pandered to, and they will never get what they needed to hear, and they might kick and scream. It's a bit like you know, there's lots of analogies, but anyway, so I was thinking like horse, that I don't want to use that one, but like corralling a horse that doesn't like it, you know, they might kick in that, but then eventually they learn it's okay, and then they're kind of they've got a new lease of life, you know, because they're different as well. And it's not up to you for them to get their soul growth. No, it's up to you.
And you know, Alice, me a year ago would have been contacting her every available means that I had to apologize and say, what have I done? What's upset you? I've done something wrong. Can you tell me so I can fix it? Whereas now I'm just like, okay, that's your upset, not mine. I know what I've done is right for me, and if it's not right for you,
I'm sorry,
that's on you. That's not on me. So
Oh, amazing. Wow, thank you. Oh, it's a lot. So you've been going through a lot. So and it's been a really, really big time. And are you sort of ready to share yet, or are you still in the portal of kind of sitting with the process and the this time, if you would like say this is a marker in time for you, like what are you creating, or where are you headed in terms of the next?
I think this has been like it's like a point of realizing actually how much I gave to him, for him, because of him, assisting him, and it was all about him. And so I have literally been a energetic wisp, if you like, of my potential, because I have been so energetically depleted trying to buoy him along. And I'm at the point where I would love for him to come back home. But if he doesn't, then I'm actually okay with that. Yeah, I don't think I've actually got anything, as in where I'm headed and how that's going to
No, I
look.
agree. That's right.
We're also moving before the end of the month. So,
That's
you know,
huge.
but that's going to be a place for an actual new beginning, and leaving all of the angst of raising him up to 16 will stay in the house that we leave. So energetically, it can't not be a new beginning. So, you know,
Gotta be huge.
yeah, and I think things will really change. And if they don't, it will because I choose not to, because there's also that. But I'm ever hopeful that yeah.
Oh my God,
Yeah.
that's so huge. And that's enough, you know, it's really more than enough. A physical shift is massive. It's a real portal. It's, you talk to Michelle, it's a real freaking transformational portal. And, you know I've got one coming up not too far away, and I'm like, it's taking everything, right? Like, it's huge. So I just really, I can't wait to see you, grounded and excited and unpacking and kind of flourishing and creating new space. So.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yay.
Thank you for holding me.
Oh yes, so welcome, beautiful girl. All right. You're amazing.
Thank you.
Okay, so how are we going? Do we want to do a little bit more sharing, or is anyone, the girls are all, I think they're all listening. Charmaine dropped off. I might just quickly text and see if she's going to rejoin.
I had to pop away I had to pop away to see Maddie.
Hey, Angel.
The last, like, in this Lionsgate portal, her and I have been really sick, mostly her. And then I also started a new job, and then had like just the busiest, it's just been the busiest time. Like every day there's been so many things in the time, like I just feel overwhelmed with how busy it's been, and then sickness. I did a 4-day container with Shannon Rose.
Yes.
Really looking at what to so building in to having a business, stepping into the power of my light. And it was like I was gaining, and then I was like, yes, I've got some momentum, like I've got some direction, know what I'm doing. And then 24 hours of Maddie vomiting every 45 minutes, just kind of like, I was like, oh, but yeah, I just tell myself that I haven't lost that, because then after that I got the vomiting bug. So I'm just starting to come back today to that work. And so my intention for the Lions Gate and the portal and the work that I've got to do is that I will develop a relationship with tangata whenua, learning more about rongoa Māori and gaining permission to do this Māori healing modality. So gaining blessing from tangata whenua that's what I'm putting through out into the Lions Gate.
Yes, Alexandra Callahan put a red heart on. I concur. Oh, so did Steph. I don't even know how to put the hearts on. Oh, there's reactions. Here we go. Can we all just put a heart for that? It's just you. That's who you are. And, I love that. And I think that what you will do in that is groundbreaking work, because it's going to be like the icebreaker boat that you are. giving that permission to others who don't necessarily look like they or have the I don't even know how to say it. You know that I don't know how to say it because I'm not someone who knows that yet. Like, but I know that there are very few women. You don't have any particular Maori lineage, do you? Direct ancestral lineage that you know of?
It's in the list of things that I've written for the Lionsgate is get to know who I am at a deeper level, be clear on who I am and own who I am, look into my feminine lineage, look into my masculine lineage, look into my whenua lineage, because I was like, right, I want to look into the lineage of my mother and the lineage of my father. And then I just got like quite directly, look into the feminine lineage of your father's side, because we've been here, I think I'm like seventh generation. So we have actually been here a long time. And the word Waitaha keeps on popping up. So there may be some Māori lineage, but also it doesn't matter if there is none, because I am claimed by the land and I can own that. And so like there's this little bit that's been quite tricky on this journey where I already do rongoa Māori, because Māori means normal, and like that culture has really been grown up from the land, but it does come from traditions that the tangata whenua have brought from wherever they've travelled from, but really a lot of it has come from the land. But the land claimed me when I was a little kid. So I have found it quite hard actually growing up, being in love with Māori culture, but like really not knowing where my place in it is.
Yeah.
So
beautiful. And it's like this, I've met on my journey, just even, and I'm sure that there are many more women and men out there, because it's not owned by anyone. Like it's not. Like you're claimed by the land, I'm claimed by the light. And the light's not owned by anyone. You know, the angelic realm's not owned by anyone. So I just, like, as you're speaking, I'm like, how can we come into highest communion and resonance? Like, even if it was like the rose, like I've been experiencing the rose a lot, and the Magdalene lineage and the sisterhood of the rose, like now that's not owned by anyone, because we have these frequencies and these codes all running through us, don't we? But then there's these kind of like parts and parcels that's been put around everything. So it's kind of like, how can we claim with respect to what's gone before us, and to with respect to ourselves and what we're creating in the community with which we're communing. Like it's just a very, like it's a wonderful, intricate kind of like juggle. But to honor the soul calling is what's most important, and then to be able to demonstrate to others how we're honoring that soul calling and what that looks like, and for them who might be considering themselves the protectors of a culture, or the ones who have a rightful what's the word, the rightfulness to use it, and that then they say that others don't, you know, for them to also like understand that they don't own it either. Do you know, there's some big breaking downs to do, that we all just eventually come to a place of unity consciousness about it, really, right? Like, you know, like,
yeah,
I think so.
I have been holding off building up this relationship in, I suppose, getting training from tangata whenua, because I've just really already got my training from the whenua and haven't actually had the people be part of it. It's just really been, plants have taught me. People have too, through books and stuff, but mostly that only comes after I've had the teaching from the plants. And so there's like this 3D matrix programming around it, where I am a little bit anxious about the vulnerability that I will put myself in, you know, when I make this step, take the step. But it'll be good.
It will be good, and it'll be sorry, I just was reading a message. I believe it'll be an invitation to those as well, like almost like what we were saying to Luke, that invitation to those to meet their boundaries with your expression. And I got this card for you as well, which just says yes.
Yes.
Yes, yes, yes. And for us with all of this work, just to like listen deeply. So there's our angel guides, like, you know, to listen deeply, and yes. Beautiful. Samit was just asking me, are we doing a meditation tonight? Are we doing a meditation? Yes, we are. And Lou says, I have Maori heritage and was always told I was not brown enough. I know, right? Like this has been a huge, huge thing that there are so many beautiful souls doing this reclamation work, you know, in this lifetime.
The heritage now has to be just, it's our heritage, us here who are here on the land. The land doesn't want it to be, you have to be this much of this or that much of that. If you are here and on the land wants to nourish and hold of all of us. The land doesn't discriminate between a tree that has come from a seed from another country and a seed that was originally here. The tree doesn't matter where it comes from, the land nourishes it. The rain doesn't choose to fall only, you know, on the native and not on the, you know, like nature just nourishes all of it. And it's time for us to all be nourished as well, equally. Thanks.
Beautiful. Yeah. We're going to do a meditation. This whole thing has been a meditation to me. Might not look like a regular meditation for Lionsgate, and I think that it might not be like what we were expecting to necessarily show up for, but I feel like everything that's been said is so potent. Every piece of wisdom that's been shared has been so perfect. This journey that we're going on is a proactive, active journey. Like it's looking different to what we might have expected it to look like. And I think that acknowledging everyone's, especially at this time, at this portal, that everyone's journey is so precious, that people have been doing so much work in all of the realms, in the spiritual realm and the physical realm, and like, you know, with the land and showing up, and with humans and relationships and families, and just the diversity of experience. And I think, you know, we're really in the inquiry of how to bring forth power as an earth angel, as an aligned soul, as a light worker, as someone who's facing, you know, all of the challenges, and being able to listen intently for the gold in people's experiences in the community is, for me, that's such an important meditation. But yeah, we're going to do a little bit of clearing. Now, I feel, are you still there, Samit? And I haven't heard back from, yes, great, okay. I haven't heard back from Charmaine, but I think maybe she does sometimes have interconnectivity issues with where she lives in Brisbane. So hopefully she'll either rejoin us again this call or next time, and I get to introduce you guys to her properly, because she's beautiful cacao family and knows Lizzie. She was on the Angelic Temple that I facilitated with Jessica last year, and did the Angelic Reiki attunements online with us, and is a really amazing mama and beautiful soul. So hopefully we'll get to hear from you next time, Charmaine, when you come back. But Lizzie and Alexandra, are you good in Smate if we drop into a little bit of clearing now? And I had an eagle totem come through to metadata, remind us to continue to feel inspired, to reach higher, to have more faith, then that we can become more than we think we are capable of. Keep soaring and be in awe of the simplicity and the beauty. That's amazing. Yeah, faith. Yeah, beautiful. Okay. All right, so let's just close down our eyes. Rachel, have you got an opening blessing?
I was actually going to say, there's this yoga breath called lion's breath. Would you like to start with the lion's breath?
Yes, please. You want to guide us through that? That'd be amazing. The breath of the lion.
The breath of the lion. So just sitting straight up, hands on your knees. As you breathe in, you tuck your chin down to your chest and then raise as you breathe in. No, hang on, I got to do it. This is what it looks like. It's kind of strange, but so you got to stick your tongue right out and kind of do quite a forced breath out. Eyebrows up, eyes up to the ceiling. So breathing in, tuck your chin down to your chest. Okay. And breathing in. And breathing in. One more, breathing in. Thanks.
Beautiful. Yeah, it's a cleansing breath. And you can do it on all fours as well. Have you done it like in cat pose where you do that, where you put your head up? And it's I was told it was the breath of fire.
Yeah.
It's wonderful. Yeah, the breath of fire. So for clearing the throat chakra and bringing like the energy up to the crown for activations. Yeah, I love it. So perfect for the lion's gate. All right. So having been activated through the lion breath, let's just take a minute now to drop into our center. Already feeling very warm, very activated from our conversation tonight. Maybe our minds are a little busy with the information that we've received. But I'm going to invite us to just drop in and almost just clear your mind now. Go back to a beautiful blank slate. Just allow the thoughts to settle like autumn leaves just down, falling gently to the ground. Take a deep breath in and out. A deep breath in and out. Just allow this gentle, warm, golden, high vibrational energy to wash over your body. Feel the magnificence of the Lionsgate portal, the courage, the deep, deep spirituality, the time of immense energy, of immense sort of electricity through the body. Imagine all of the points of light, all the people all around the earth who are celebrating the Lion's Gate. Think about just even a few years ago, when was the first time you heard about the Lion's Gate? Because hundreds of thousands of years ago, this was a festival that was celebrated by spiritual beings all around the world. It was a time of deep reverence. It was a time, I heard from Kaira's transmission, that even Syrians came to the planet on their starships at this time, and they walked amongst the humans or the spiritual beings and shared festivities and celebrations, and it was a time of great rejoicing, a time of great light, the great upliftment, great energy, celebrating the harvest. So we're not quite celebrating the harvest in the southern hemisphere, but we're celebrating the winter, the rejuvenation that winter brings, the depth of transmutation and deep process that this time of, dying down and digging into the earth, re-establishing our roots, allows us. So cast your mind back to your ancient soul self, hundreds and hundreds of thousands of years ago, in this day, the sacred day where the sun is the central sun, the grand central sun of planet Terra, of our earth, and the blue spiritual sun of Sirius are in direct alignment over the pyramids of Giza, and have been and come into this celestial conjunction at this time every year. When there's this beautiful downpouring, these codes of light, high frequency energy, what do they look like to you? Are they rays? Are they symbols? Are they signs? Is it a tone? Are they carried? How do they travel? Can you see them? Can you feel them? What do they feel like touching your energy, expanding out through you? Do they activate your heart? Do you feel alive, energized? Do you feel settled, joyful? Do you feel excited? Do you feel a little nervous? So there's codes coming in now, washing in and around you. We're honoring this great sacred time, which is becoming more and more and more seen and understood and revered and accepted and celebrated within the human consciousness of the collective now. It wasn't a thing. I guess my first Lionsgate was maybe 6 years ago. And each year it's become more and more and more potent, more and more activating, more and more a time of looking forward to what's the next right step, like acknowledgement of this cycle just been and stepping into the creation of the next cycle. And this is just such a beautiful and exciting time to be alive. So I really honor you in this ceremony and this night, for being here, for showing up, for anchoring your wisdom, for sharing your vulnerabilities, for acknowledging yourself and the progress that you've made and stepping in to a new frequency and a new timeline, making this be your line in the sand moment for how you're going to step forward, how much more soul expansion you're going to embody, how many more of your gifts you're going to bring forth, share with others. In what ways? Peacefully, gently, beautifully, allowing all this to occur in divine timing, without ego, without force, without rush, without having to know how it's all going to work, but just trusting in spirit and trusting in your guides. So we're going to do a little clearing with the angels tonight, just to anchor in this beautiful new high frequency, this new timeline, opening the portal and stepping through. So we call Archangel Michael and Archaic Lady Faith to bring forward wisdom, protection, guardianship, and guidance, to come and stand beside us, anchoring this light, helping us to step through with releasing anything that no longer serves us, helping us to let go of any frequencies, any energies, any contracts, anything that is no longer needed in our new timeline. Just let it go and allow it to dissolve, to wash away in this beautiful high angelic frequency and light. To return to source, to be renewed, to be released now. We ask Archangel Raphael and Archaic Lady Mary on the green cosmic emerald ray to step in and anchor on the opposite side. The angels are placing golden domes of protection of higher frequency angelic light around us, always we offer our ceremony in highest resonance with the highest divine light of God, of only God. We ask Archangel Gabriel and Archaea Hope, and all the angels, the seraphim angels and the rainbow ray to come in and anchor in behind us. Feel our big wings grow stronger, more brilliant, brighter as we open up to the cosmic energies of wisdom, of divine healing, of higher frequency angelic light, of knowledge, of vision. And then in front of us, we welcome Archangel Uriel on the red ruby ray, and with him, of course, the Syrian lions, and beautiful Archaea Ariel, the lioness of God, who is so present with us at this time. And around them stands a wall, a 360-degree wall of light, of beautiful angelic beings of all realms, and all of the ascended masters, right back through the lineages, going Tara, Hathor, Isis, all the interconnected points of light, right back through the ages, through our soul remembrance. Think of all the times. Does your soul remember the times you've stood in ceremony, the places you've been, the things that you've seen, the activations that you've experienced at this sacred time throughout all history? Acknowledging the multidimensional, beautiful, divine, powerful aspect of your soul. And calling all of those energies now back to you now. Feeling them anchor in with this beautiful light all around you. This 360-degree wall of high frequency energy. And then anchoring in below and above as we connect down to the land, to the earth through our Earth Star chakra, and down and below, dropping a beautiful grounding cord all the way down to the center of this beautiful planet. May we draw nourishment, wisdom, guidance, abundance from Gaia herself, Archangel Sandalphon, and all of the angels working with all the elements and all the elementals of the land, all the plants, all the wisdom that they carry with them. May we be a conduit for that immense healing and all those sacred codes. Lifting up through our heart, opening our heart, breathing in all of that love, holding, feeling ourselves expand outside of our human body into our energy body, feeling our energy body become light and clear, resonating now at a higher frequency. When you feel ready, there might be an activation through the throat, but opening up higher and higher up through the throat. Sending love and blessings to our ears, our ear chakras, which have been getting a massive upgrade. Through our third eye, there's visions that we're casting, what we're able to see from the past and the present into the future. What is it that our soul wants to show us? What is it that our earthly work to take action upon in the physical, to manifest in our own time, in our own realities? Thank you for those gifts. Thank you for continuing to show us the next right step, to show us the way forward. And then we open now the 12-petaled lotus, the crown of light that sits atop our heads, that beautiful symbols, the rod of power in our crown chakra. We open our soul star galactic gateway to receive a blessing of Archangel Metatron. and all of the beautiful archangels and angels of the highest healing divine light of God, and those beautiful members of our star and soul families of the highest divine light of God who wish to bring us blessings at this time. May we open, receive more and more of their divine light in a way that's easeful, graceful, gentle, and nourishing for us, in a way that feels safe, grounded. In a way that makes us feel seen, appreciated, known, connected, and resourced, deeply, deeply, deeply resourced for the years, for the time that our soul self signed up for and chose these earthly bodies, these earthly lessons, these particular soul contracts that we choose and honor and see and fulfill. And we know that we are doing our best always, and that we are truly seen. We are truly seen. We are never apart from our highest divine selves. May we always come back to this remembrance, this knowingness, this truth of who we truly are and why we're here. So this very beautiful, special, spiritual, potent juncture, we really just give massive thanks. We allow ourselves to be. We allow ourselves to give up any need for understanding, any hard wiring that comes from our brain that wants to know exactly what's going on or why or how, or any of that. And may our soul guide us into the remembrance of trust, into the remembrance of surrender, into the remembrance of servitude, of gratitude, of understanding. The only thing we really need to understand was that we chose to be here now. We have, a fairly strong inkling of why, but also we don't really need to know why. To show up in our joy, to show up in our kindness, to show up in our inauthenticity, to continue to honor the path that we chose, however that looks. I feel that's the blessing of this time, this Lionsgate. Knowing that each one will be different. That the energy of the next cycle might look quite different to the last. But that's part of what we're learning. Is to continue to step forward courageously with the heart of the lion, the heart of the lioness. Knowing that we are never alone. And that we're part of a universal divine, a universal consciousness, which is being called forth at this time through all people. And so you may wish to call forth the most perfect angel or divine guide to stand before you now. And when your heart's really open and still and ready, look up with your mind's eye, through your crown on your third eye. And allow this beautiful being of light, the highest divine light and resonance of God, to step forward, to see you, to be a witness, to acknowledge you for all this beautiful work that you are doing. Feel deeply, deeply, deeply seen. For you are known and loved. You're a child of God. You're a child of the cosmos. You have huge and ancient wisdom and soul lineage, which is so massive. It's hard to squeeze into this little human body. But we're doing our best. We are doing our absolute best to be conduits of light in any now moment, any given moment. And that's all that's ever asked of us. You know, to show up and take the next right step. So take a moment to receive the blessing of the angels. Breathe it in deeply. Feel your heart settle. Feel your vibration rise to joy, to peace, to bliss, to acceptance. Is there a gift that they want to give you? Some words of wisdom and acknowledgement. Beautiful. Feel that gorgeous golden cape that the angels place around your shoulders, the warm embrace, the wings, or the pink light. Whatever it is for you that feels most nourishing at this time, just allow the angels to swirl that energy around you. To swirl that through your aura, gently lifting you up, uplifting you, and grounding you at the same time. So much expanded capacity. May all the transmissions that we've received, the activations, the words land gently, wisely, like threads of gold rethreading through your heart space, clearing and cleansing. May any attunements, codes, activations that have come in through tonight and through this portal in general, from the ceremony or any other activations that you've received during this time, just to land with grace and ease. May they be gentle. May they be embodied in sleep so that we can continue our work. May we feel refreshed, renewed, and abundantly resourced through this time. And so as we say goodbye and we give our leave to our dear higher soul self, to our soul tribe, our spirit guides, our mentors, our spiritual mentors, and our angels, just pulse love and light and gratitude to them all. Just coming down now through our body and feeling the resonance, feeling the love of all of the angels, the earth angels, all the light workers, the way showers, those who are so gifted and showing up in their light, and those who are awakening, and those who are yet to awaken. We just acknowledge the courage of the collective, the willingness of all the souls who have come here, even if it's just for a fleeting moment, to touch down and take off again. And we bless them. And when we leave the biggest, most beautiful blessing for ourselves, just turn that energy inwards and just really deeply receive into your body. And you'll feel the angels lift back and off. So when you're ready, just come back into the space. Feel yourself. You might just need to ground into your body a little, huh? Pretty potent light, eh? Take some deep breaths just to ground back. All right. So I feel like probably time to wind up. Is everyone back? Thank you. Thanks, Alex. Love you. It's great. So yeah, I'm going to in the group I'll pop Kaira's activation in. You guys might really enjoy that. I'm going to listen to more of that tomorrow. Also, Samantha May did a free sound ceremony, which I signed up for. I'm not sure if you can still receive that, or I imagine probably can if you would really like to, or I can see if I can share it in this group. She might let me share the link to it. But otherwise, I think that, really each of us in our own special way have marked this auspicious occasion, this beautiful spiritual portal. Thank you so much. Oh, yay, Rachel, yay, that's so great. That's so great. Clarity. Yeah. All right. I love you all so much, so much. Let's keep in touch. I created a kind of end gate. Heaps of Syrian beings circling around us all. Yes. I felt a lot of like blue light, like I think it's this kind of, the Syrian Pleiadians are not dissimilar, like they've got this very high frequency kind of thing. Hey, crystalline, it's all crystalline energy. It's so beautiful. Lunchtime on the 12th, so Friday, the 12th is the end of the portal. It's like the last day of the Lionsgate portal. It's also the full moon in Aquarius, so there's a lot of like potent spiritual Aquarian energy. The full moon's actually at 1:35 in the afternoon, and I am scheduled a call for Friday at 12, so I'll record it. And for those of you who can jump on and really acknowledge this, the transmission, the closing of the portal, will do that as well. If you feel called to be there, it would be lovely to see you if that works. But please stay in touch. Just bring into the community anything you want to share. Loving you all so much, and these great steps that I see you all taking through this time into the next big, beautiful, bold, courageous, abundant version of you. You guys are amazing. Pray for sleep tonight. yeah, remember to pray for sleep, drink lots of water, and all those good things. And just ask that you integrate real gently and easily, with ease and grace, and that you get some sleep. Because I know it's been full on. Okay, I love you all. Thank you, Lizzie. Yay, thank you. I'm so glad that you loved that and you're still here. Just checking. Great. All right, I'm going to pull the pin. All right, I love you so much. Happy Lionsgate. Bye, guys.
Thank you. Love you.
Mwah. I love you so much.